And welcome inside episode 70 of Breaking Bats, presented by Not For Long Media. My name is Justin Ayers, and I'm joined by my old pal of 4+ hours. It is Kait Maniscalco joining me once again. This is her second full episode as co-host, third episode overall, and fourth hour that we've known each other. Kait, how are you?
Justin, I am doing fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. Amazing. 4 hours. We're actually best friends now. We've already decided.
Yeah.
Besties. It's fine. I went to Taylor Swift this weekend. Phenomenal. Long weekend. It was in Gillette. It was at Gillette Stadium in Boston. I was the infamous rain show, if everyone was wondering, the one where it rained nonstop for the entirety of the night. So my voice is a little sore, but I'm feeling good. How was your weekend?
It was fine. I did my first 10K. I think I broke my foot. That's besides the point. It hurts. It just, everything hurts. It's kind of impacted the whole mood and overall, persona of Justin here today. It hurts to walk, but that's, we don't have to dwell on that because I like to look forward, keep it moving forward. You were at the Taylor Swift Rain Show, and I saw people were selling bottled rain for $250 from the Taylor Swift Rain Show. Did you save any of it? And are you upset at yourself if you didn't?
I think if I take my dress that's sitting in my room and I just wring it out, I can get probably 3 buckets of rain. And you know what? If I sold it for $250, I would actually make the price of my ticket back. So that would be great. But unfortunately, that was all of the rain that I had. I will say this. I did buy a sweatshirt. It cost my left kidney to purchase it. But I did get a sweatshirt, and it rained so hard, the sweatshirt took 3 days to dry. It is still damp. It is hanging in my room. I've not put it in the wash. I've not done anything with it. It survived the trip home from Boston to New York. It is still soaking wet. It's so weird. It's crazy. But yeah. Yeah.
The sweatshirt. Yeah. Anytime you go to a concert and you're like, hey, I'll check out the merch tent or the merch table. It's like, oh, $75 for a t-shirt. Maybe I'll just hold off on that.
Yeah. But, I'm sure I can find one on eBay. It's fine. Nope, not me.
Sure. Yeah. Out of necessity, though, got to get a sweatshirt. I did that at a Orioles playoff game one time, and I think I spent like $130 on a sweatshirt, and I told my dad that, and he had, I think he died for a minute. But yeah, that's just I don't know. That's the price of doing business. I'm happy that you went, though. I'm happy you had a good time. I've seen nothing but TikToks. I don't know how my feed has gotten on Swift Talk, but I'm sure it was magical, and I'm sure she sang all the hits. So very, very jealous of your T Swift experience.
Thank you. It was enchanting.
I bet. Well, while we're taping this on Tuesday night, how about them O's? Because they're beating up on the Yankees, and I got my Adley Rutschman shirt in the mail today. So it's a great day. It's a great day for Justin and, just the pod in general. So I wanted to get that out there.
It's not great for the pod in general.
It is good. Why don't you let me win?
He can have this round. Also, when he says beating up on the oh wait, I got nervous. When he says beating up on the Yankees, the Orioles are winning 4-1. This is not a beat down. 3 runs. It's fine. Pretty close.
Yeah. You're ace on the mound. But yeah, it's, I needed a win today, to be honest.
Yeah. The broken foot.
I've been in this chair all day. So, just let me have this one. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, though, on this week's episode. We have some top stories, some fill in the blanks, couple rants. Most of the things that I say will probably just end up becoming rants organically. But hey, that's kind of where I'm at mentally today. But we'll start on a happy note, on a positive note for baseball and baseball fans in general. We'll call this the top story, batting leadoff, whatever you want to call it. Baseball's attendance this past weekend was the best in years. They announced that this past weekend's attendance across the sport of a little over 1.5 million was the best of any weekend in April or May since the year 2017. There's 45 games played over this past weekend. This was the highest attended stretch of games since June 2019, and Sunday was the highest attended non-opening day game before June since 2018. People are coming out, watching baseball. You hear all this stuff like, oh, Oakland's getting 500 people a night, and they can't draw crowds here or whatever. It's like, okay, well, they just had the biggest weekend, and it wasn't even a holiday weekend in years. So are you surprised it's worked out so well? And, do you think the rule changes have had anything to do with that?
I'm not surprised. I do think the rules have played a huge part in it. just if you look at the difference in the time of games from this year compared to last year, it's a huge difference. Fans are more engaged. I mean, just the stolen bases in general are significantly higher than last year with the bigger bases. And then as well as the pickoff attempts, limiting pitchers to those when there's a runner on first base. I think that keeps the fans more engaged. The pitch clock has helped tremendously despite some of the players not being huge fans of it. I also think the weather has played a big part for the Northeast specifically. I mean, last year, it was freezing in the beginning of April. We had some snow, we had some rain. Didn't really experience a lot of that this year in those early months of April and May where the attendance is significantly low. So I do think that that has played a role in it, but I'm not super surprised. What about you? Were you shocked to hear this?
A little bit. I mean, like, all you hear from people around sports or just sports fans is like, oh, baseball's boring. It sucks. I'm not going to baseball games. And then to have all these people show up, and I think the rule changes have had a little bit of an impact on that. We're seeing 30 minutes of on average shaved off of the games this year as opposed to last year. I think it's making for, I mean, TV ratings are through the roof as well. And then the in-person ratings are going through the roof as well. So it's like, yeah, I think people are more engaged. I think there's a lot more fun, young, like, talent in the game of baseball. I was just reading an article. It's like Ronald Acuna Jr. could be the best leadoff hitter of all time or something. Like in the first inning, he's like the best hitter in the first inning ever. So, yeah, it's just like this next wave of players this year. And every week I feel like there's a new starting pitcher debut that will break down in a video at some point. But it's like, yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff happening in baseball. And every time I'm not at a baseball game, I do have FOMO. So maybe the FOMO factor is playing into this as well.
I agree. And I think the weekday games that normally get very low attendance have actually been doing a lot better this year. Like, I remember they were saying last year that Major League Baseball loses so much money in the months of April. And this year they didn't lose as much as they have in previous years. So it's a win for baseball. It's coming back. It's not going down the drain. Here to stay. That's what I'm saying.
I do have a slight gripe though.
Okay.
I have no numbers or science or data to back this up, but we're seeing an influx of start times at 6:30 and 6:35. And I just want to put my foot down and say, stop it. Stop it. My
What's
brain
wrong
is
with the
conditioned.
6:30?
I'm not ready. My brain isn't ready yet. It's like I'm not, like, my day is planned around 7 o'clock, planting myself in front of the TV to watch baseball. And then I'll look and they're already in the second or third inning and I've missed a lot of stuff because they've been playing for 30 minutes already. And I don't know why. I was having this discussion with a friend of mine the other day. It's like these 6:30 games. I don't know what yeah, because of their 2.5 hours now, they're getting done at, 9:30.
There we go. Took him a minute.
Yeah, I'm not a math person. I'm an ideas person. But yeah, so I don't know what the heck's up with that. I would prefer them to start at 7:05. One year they started at 7-Eleven because they had a partnership with 7-Eleven. That was fun. But yeah, just quit it. No more 6:30 games, please.
Would you like the 8 p.m. better? Did you like the 8 p.m. starts?
God, no.
Okay.
No.
Oh my gosh, you are so like, can't be 6:30, can't be 8. It has to be 7.
7 on the dot.
Or 7.
I'm not alone in this.
No,
I guarantee
agree
there's
with you.
other people out there that have been, just beaten down by these 6:30 games.
It's true. Because then you forget it's on at that time too, because you have it mentally in your head that it's on at 7.
If I've been watching games at 7 p.m. for years, and then like I said, it's 7 o'clock, I turn the TV on, it's like, oh crap, there's 5 runs already been scored.
Yes.
And this pitch clock is making things go really quick. So it's like, all right, well, got to keep up. So
True.
I just kind of want to be a voice for the voiceless in this situation. So please let us know if you're also have been victimized by 6:30 p.m. baseball game start times. Cause
yes.
Yeah, please let us know. So yeah, I mean, that's great for the sport of baseball though. Just like, the attendance and everything's going up, but we'll do a little fill in the blank. Toronto Blue Jays, the most dysfunctional team in baseball. I'll say it. This team is nothing works correctly for the Toronto Blue Jays. Their manager is just off the rails at all time. They're on a big losing streak. But Kait, I'll let you take the lead on this one. You're in the driver's seat. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yes. So this whole thing started right now. They're on 4-game losing streak. Got swept by the Orioles. Dropped one last night to the Rays. But here is what happens. They have this wild series with the New York Yankees, right? There's cheating allegations. The managers are yelling at each other saying, you're not standing in the little box on the first and third baseline. Everyone's freaking out. They think Judge is cheating. Managers are getting ejected. So the series ends. And here is what happens in the Orioles game. So for those who don't know, managers are only allowed one visit to the same pitcher per inning. If you have a second mound visit, that pitcher has to come out. You have to make a pitching change. That goes for players, managers, and coaches. John Schneider comes out in the Blue Jays and the Orioles game to go to Alek Manoah. They don't realize that the pitching coach already visited him during that inning. Umpire comes up to Schneider and says, guess what? Manoah now has to come out of the game. If you watch the clip of Alek Manoah and the pure shock on his face, and then as he's walking, he has this little chuckle as he's going into the dugout. So ironically, the Blue Jays ended up losing that game. They were tied 2-2 with Manoah on the mound. They ended up losing the game to the Orioles. John Schneider's asked about it in the postgame, and they say, yeah, I messed up. He did, drop an F-bomb, but he said, yeah, I messed up, but I think I was going to take Manoah out of the game anyway. Justin, how would you describe this situation? Because in my head, all I'm thinking is this is probably one of the biggest mental errors you can have in the game of baseball. Like we talk about mental errors and physical errors on the field. Just a mental mistake from the Blue Jays manager.
I mean, we were talking about this earlier. Like, I don't know how long this rule has been in place that you can only go out to the mound one time before you have to take the pitcher out. Apparently that's been a thing for a little bit. I was going to give John Schneider the benefit of the doubt. I was like, hey, maybe it's one of those new rules that they threw in. Maybe they didn't make a commercial about this with Joey Votto or somebody telling us about it. Because like, that's all like the MLB. Yeah. Like they'll just have like these rule change videos. It's like, hey, baseball is different this year. Here's Joey Votto. No, they didn't do one of those because apparently it's been there for a little bit, but I think it was hilarious. I think John, what a time for a mental error by John Schneider. I think he only said that after the game. He's like, oh, well, I was going to take him out anyway. It's like, okay, I don't believe that at all. You could see Manoah's face. He's like, wait, I could get out of this, right? He's like, no, you have to leave. And also, I'm firmly team Adam Frazier. I have been for a very, very long time. And to see Manoah go at our guy, Adam Frazier, they were exchanging F-bombs. It was also very funny. But just chill out, Alek Manoah. All right.
Yes.
It was a rough stretch for him, but, if I had to describe that, I would just say hilarious.
Hilarious. It was also, what was so funny is if people watched the Yankees and the Blue Jay series, it came right after Schneider called someone, we still don't know who exactly it was, someone in the Yankees dugout, Fat Boy. They literally caught that on camera like 2 days prior to this incident. So I don't know. I don't want to say karma because I don't like putting bad juju out there, but it's just weird that you call someone a fat boy in the middle of the game and then you make a mental error on the field. That's all I'm saying.
But hey, he'll never make that mistake again.
Nope.
You learn more from your failures than you do from your successes.
Very
and
true.
I guarantee if John Schneider even like if a thought crosses his mind to go back out to the mound 5 minutes after he was already out there with the same pitcher, it's not going to do it. Or somebody in the dugout will just grab him like those holdback guys in the NFL when their coaches are trying to run out onto the field. Just grab by the belt. It's like, no, dude, you're out there 30 seconds ago.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
It was something. What a weekend to be a Blue Jays fan. You're just screaming at your TV as you're losing games and your managers are dumb and Manoah's trying to fight Adam Frazier. Yeah, it was what a time to be alive. Aaron Judge though, what a week.
What a week.
What a week.
Guy's back.
It turns out he can just look wherever and he can still hit home runs. So yes. I think after the last time we talked, last time we got together, after the eye, peeping scandal, guy's pretty good.
Yeah. AL player of the week, 500 average, 1.893 OPS, 11 RBIs in 6 games. Absolutely crushing it. Dominated during the Blue Jays series. I just remember watching, and it's another home run for Aaron Judge against the Blue Jays. So did you wake the sleeping giant? Maybe. I don't think Judge liked being called a cheater. I wouldn't like being called a cheater, but nobody shows up like Aaron Judge does to people who discredit him. Because I remember last year, he had the whole scuffle with the Yankees management about arbitration and trying to figure out how much he was worth. Goes out, hit 62 home runs. You say he's a cheater. He's like, no, watch me. I'm going to go out and I'm going to prove all of you wrong. And he does have more of a little bit of a swag now, which I do really appreciate. But what did you think of this? Oh, Justin's rolling his eyes. I don't know how he feels.
It's like this guy, he hit 62 home runs last year. I think for a second there, like all the Yankee haters, myself included, were just like, thank God. Now we can discredit him. We can, we finally have a reason to say like, he's not as good as we thought he was. He's actually a bum. And like, we had hope. And then that was taken away from us when it turns out that the peeping thing, the cheating scandal, it only made him stronger. So he absorbed all of that hate and then just took it out on baseballs. So yes. It wasn't a great time for Yankees haters. We had a good run though. I will be honest.
Yes, you did.
I was just trying to go back and look at, because like you had the Domingo German with the sticky stuff, and I forgot like the details around that. So he got ejected for sticky stuff. And I know there was like the Yes camera caught like something on his pants, which most people said after the fact was like chewing tobacco or whatever, which wasn't the actual sticky stuff. But is there anything new with that? Did he get Did he get banged for a 10-game suspension?
He got a 10-game suspension. They didn't appeal or anything like that. What was interesting was that it was the second time that the umpires came out. First time came when they played the Twins. They told him, you have to go wash your hands. Your hands are too sticky. Go into the dugout, wash your hands. Rocco Baldelli gets ejected. The Twins manager, he's like, no, that's not the rule. Then second time comes around, fourth inning, German is ejected for sticky stuff. The one thing though, and I do want to hear your opinion on this, is I don't like how umpires can just say, well, his hands are too sticky. Can you give us a little bit further of it? I feel like there's something else that they need to say. Where there has to be a line, because just saying, well, your hands are sticky, so you need to come out of the game. So what feels sticky and what doesn't? It's completely under the discretion of the umpire. I know everyone's coming from me going, oh my gosh, if she's a Yankees fan, of course he's defending him. But I'm not saying that he wasn't using something. I just think that something else needs to be said. Same thing with Max Scherzer. They said to him, yeah, well, it's sticky. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I'm just thinking back to the whole, because when Max Scherzer was the first person to have this happen this year, yeah, it was the whole, like, the umpire touched his hands, made him go wash it off, came back out, said it was the stickiest he'd ever felt. In that situation, yeah, all right, you got to get out of there. And I know Max was, swearing on his kids' lives, and yeah, it was a weird deal. But in that case, I'm like, even if he was using like the legal sweat and rosin, like, I think there needs to be more clarity on this, but I think you can still be ejected for having just too much of it.
Right.
Right. But it's hard because there's no universal like measurement there's no 1 through 10 scale of how sticky something is. It is up to like the discretion. And we had like Matt Strom, the Phillies pitcher, was on here a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about like, if the umpire has something on his hand, if the umpire puts sunblock on and he's rubbing it in, he's already got a little residue on there, and he touches your hand, and it's like, there's so many variables in play that like can affect how sticky it is. And maybe when I think it's like Phil Cuzzy's like the king of banging guys for, having too much stuff on their hands. And it's like, maybe Phil Cuzzy's just a sweaty guy, and maybe his hands have just a natural amount of stick to them. I don't know, but but the chewing tobacco on his pants, thinking it was a smoking gun, was pretty great though.
Yes. I did see Jose Trevino said that on a podcast. He said, yeah, if you're a fan of Major League Baseball, if you're a true baseball player, that's all that was on his leg. I'm not sure if that's what he was using on his hands. German didn't come out and say, yes, I was using something. He kind of just said, I need to be better for my team. It's my fault. Now I'm putting them in a bad position, which of course that's what he's going to say. So I don't know. We'll see when he comes back from the suspension, how he does, but he is going to serve 10 days.
That's a long time for starters. Yeah. Especially, the Mets really need a Scherzer. I'm sure the Yankees needed him. So, not great, but it's one of those things that might keep popping up, but also after Scherzer and after German, like pitchers, you're on notice. Like,
yeah,
cut it out.
Like, don't use anything.
Well, I mean, I think you can still use stuff, but
what are they using?
It's sweat and rosin, as Scherzer was, screaming. But yeah, I just like use it in an appropriate, limited quantity or something. I don't know. Maybe not have it coating your entire hand.
Right.
I don't know. As the non-baseball players, as our TikTok comments would say, it's like, what do we know?
I don't know anything. Softball, we didn't use anything on our hands. Just saying.
There's no scandal at the college softball level of sticky stuff.
No sticky stuff in college softball. Not even. Yeah. I mean, very few people used rosin, so that's it.
Think about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Next up, I did a deep dive on this all afternoon. And I've been fired up to talk about this. The Texas Rangers. Texas Rangers are coming. I'm actually going to a Rangers game in Arlington first weekend in June. So can't wait. Get to see the boys in blue out there. But friend of the podcast, multiple time guest, Nathaniel Lowe. He was on a different podcast, but we won't talk about that. He has it's been making the rounds all day. And he said the Rangers are for real. He said, all he heard was how people are talking about how this is the Astros division. And he said, quote, the division is ours to lose. You can't sleep on the Rangers. If we're not in contention down the stretch, I will be very, very surprised and would say something has gone horribly wrong. And, your first place Texas Rangers. All right. Winner of the AL West, write it down. We're going to mark this timestamp down.
Yep.
May 23rd. Who's winning the AL West this year?
I'm going to Houston Astros, despite love Nathaniel, love the Texas Rangers. I'm here for them. I want the Texas Rangers to win, but the Houston Astros are going to win the AL West. I mean, they have their guy back. They got Jose Altuve, 27-19 entering the week, currently on an 8-game winning streak, 8th win last night in a row, have not lost since Altuve came back. He's a spark plug of the offense. Pitching, currently the lowest ERA in baseball with 3.19 on the season. Relievers, second behind the Yankees at 3.01. So I'm sticking with my Houston Astros. I'm saying that don't want the Houston Astros, but I do think they're
claimed another front-running team, everybody. She's on the Yankees and the Astros, so she can't lose.
No. They'll cancel me. But what about you? Who do you got?
I mean, I got to ride with the Texas Rangers. I've been a Rangers fan. Brian and I had this whole thing where we were just like naming late 2000s Texas Rangers. It was like my era. It was like Michael Young and like Josh Hamilton and all those guys. But I love the Texas Rangers so much. They're winning the AL West this year. It is their time to shine. They're beating up on, unfortunately, the Pittsburgh Pirates right now. So they're going to win tonight. They're going to be 30-18 after tonight. That's impressive. And my favorite part about this Texas Rangers team is that like they'll put up runs, but they won't just put up like 4 or 5. They'll put up double dig. They in 3 games against the Rockies, not even in Colorado, they put up 31 runs in 3 games.
Justin's so fired up.
They lead the majors in games scoring 10 or more runs. They've done that 12 times this year. Like, this is the most fun offensive team. Like, I was like reading breakdowns. There's no holes in that 1 through 9 in the lineup. If you look, they lead baseball and runs, RBIs, and average, all of baseball, not just the AL. It's so much fun to watch. And, I feel like the only time we talk about Texas on like a national scale, especially this year, is like Jacob deGrom hurt himself again. How dumb is that? This guy's making a lot of money. That's like the only time. Like, nobody talks about how good they are. All I talk about is, Jacob deGrom having glass bones and paper skin. Would you say that though the Texas Rangers are on the underrated side of baseball teams this season?
Absolutely. Because I even remember scrolling Twitter when Jacob deGrom signed with the Rangers and everyone was saying, wow, he just must not even care about winning. He just wants a contract. And boy, have the Rangers just proved everyone wrong. And there was a part of me that said, I mean, you're going to go to the Texas Rangers from the Mets? Like, okay, fine, have fun in Texas. You get to play in the heat. Go ahead. But I was absolutely shocked because the Rangers just used to be the Rangers, not really someone to really write home about, especially last year. But now they're doing fantastic. And yeah, deGrom's hurt again, but right, he's looking promising. I think they said through a bullpen session, so he'll be back soon. But
yeah, they said
I definitely think they're underrated.
There's no. I think they're the most underrated. I think I might have also put that label on the Pirates, but I will quickly shift off. Actually, the Pirates are tied for first as of right now, but they won't be for long. You're right though, because last year the Rangers had 68 wins. They were embarrassing. They lost all these like really close games last year. And then they go out and they get Bruce Bochy and they spend some more money on pitching. And it's like, yeah, it's easy to make fun of the Rangers for going out and spending money on Jacob deGrom. And it's like, oh, he's hurt again. You want to discount them so bad just because of their track record of not winning. Yes. But then you see guys like the AL RBI and home run leader this year. It's not Aaron Judge. It's Adolis Garcia. Mm-hmm. It's like, how many people know that? You do a man on the street right now. You ask who's leading the AL in home runs. You're getting judged all the time. Yep. It's like, we got to give more love to Texas and to Texas Rangers fans because it's their time. They're going to have like the most dramatic win, like turnaround from one season to the next. They're going to go 68 last year to like 90 plus this year. It's going to be great.
I know. I got to look up that stat, but I'm curious what the biggest differential will be in between seasons, like the biggest turnaround, because I think if they finish in first, could be. They finished fourth last year or fifth?
They were fourth last year because
so fourth to first.
Somehow still worse. I think like it's like the Orioles from 21 to 22 had a pretty dramatic turnaround. Like the Diamondbacks from 21 to 22. Like, so there's been teams that will add 20 something ish to a win total. But yeah, I love Texas. I can't wait to be down in Arlington first weekend of June playing the Mariners. It's be so
jealous.
Sick.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
The new stadium is apparently amazing. It's just like the video board's 400 feet tall and they're gonna be hitting 5 home runs a night. So yeah, it's gonna be great.
We're excited for Dustin.
As a unit, we are excited for Justin.
As a unit.
I saw this and I wanted to get your take on it because I don't know if this is a big deal or not, but I want you to be kind of the barometer of if this is a big deal or not. Ben Rortvedt, I think I said that right, made his long-awaited debut for the New York Yankees. He's a catcher. He came over from the Twins in the IKF and Josh Donaldson trade long ago. I've been reading up about him. I've heard that Yankees fans have been long awaiting his arrival to the Bronx. Big deal or not big deal?
Huge deal. I just want to get this right for the record. Not only is this exciting for Yankees fans, there has been a running joke throughout the past couple of years that he does not exist. There was a huge running joke on Yankees Twitter. Ben knows about it. All the beat writers know about it. The Yes Network knows about it. The Yankees know about it. Everyone tweets it and says, oh my gosh, look, he does exist. So anytime you see him coming up for like a game or two, everyone says, oh my gosh, he's actually real. They weren't lying. They call him Benny Biceps because, he's got big muscles, strong guy, but very exciting for Yankee fans. He did really well in his debut. He actually, on the double that he hit, did the John Cena, you can't see me at second base. So cool. So cool. I think Yankee fans are really excited to have him. Definitely curious to see how long he'll be up here because Trevi's only on the 10-day IL. So right now, Higgy is obviously the number one, Ben's number 2. But I think it's very exciting. I think it's long awaited. In his post-game interview, he said he was, really happy to be here. It was everything he could have imagined. So we love Ben. We're here for Benny Biceps.
That's fantastic. I didn't know there was like a whole running joke.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Like he's like Sasquatch. There's just like blurry black and white photos of him. Nobody's actually seen what he's looked like probably.
Yes, because there used to be like exchanges back and forth, like, oh, Ben got called up, back down. And people would say, wait, is he real? Is this actually a player in our organization? But so it's really exciting for him. And he thinks the joke is funny. So I'm glad that he doesn't get too offended by it.
Yankees have needed a good, reliable catcher for a long time. So maybe this is it. Maybe Benny Biceps, in his debut there will just, it'd be great. So that's awesome. Glad to hear that's a big deal. We interrupt this episode to bring you a word from the official sponsor of Not For Long Media and the Breaking Bats podcast, the Original Fudge Kitchen. It is a staple of the Jersey Shore with 6 locations in Cape May, Wildwood, North Wildwood, Stone Harbor, and Ocean City. The Original Fudge Kitchen makes all of their fudge in-store guaranteeing a delicious product, so stop by and let them know that Not For Long Media and Breaking Bats sent you. Check them out online at fudgekitchens.com as they are shipping fudge and sweet treats all across the country. Now back to the episode. Here's a fun one. Trea Turner stinks now.
If you would have told me that in 2022, I would have said, no, you're lying. I must be in an alternate universe.
Well, I think let's just say like you watched the WBC and you saw what he did in the WBC and you're like, you're a Phillies fan. I think even on this podcast, we haven't even had a conversation. It's like, oh my gosh, Trea Turner's the best. During the WBC in 6 games, he had 5 home runs and 11 RBIs in 6 games. And so you're jacked up. He's like a batting champ. He's the coolest dude ever. And then this year, 2 full months into the season, he has a 91 OPS plus. In 46 games, he has 4 home runs and 11 RBIs. So I want to put you in the shoes of a Phillies fan. So first of all, don't throw any batteries at me because, I want you to be mentally a Phillies fan. Just please, keep it respectful. Mm-hmm. Is Trea Turner not performing well? Is it a big deal? Not a big deal? How concerned should we be?
In the wise words of Miss Taylor Swift, I would say screaming, crying, throwing up if you're a Phillies fan, because you just spent so much money on this player. You're amped up for him. He's America's baseball player in the WBC. The poor Philly fans had to witness the Phillies fall to the Astros last year. The Eagles lose. They're like, yes, Trea Turner, send us home. Phillies were amped up. Let's go. No. Again, just such an L for Phillies fans. And I feel like they're very frustrated right now because especially someone like Trea Turner, your number one guy, the guy you're going to turn to at all times, when he's not doing well, it brings the momentum of the team down. So I do think there is some trouble in Philadelphia. What do you think?
I think long-term, they're fine. Like this is not like he has the track record of success. He's like a career 300 hitter. It's like, yeah, he'll be fine. But I think in the short term, you can absolutely be concerned. I don't know if I boo him, but also in Philly, like booing is like second nature. Yeah. It's like, you don't do well one game, you just, we're going to hiss at you or something. I don't know. Yes. It's just Phillies fans are a different breed. But I watched this whole MLB Network breakdown, so I'm basically an expert on Trea Turner's woes so far. This guy can't hit fastballs. That's my big takeaway, because they put a graphic up and it was like his stats versus fastballs in 21 and 22. He's like batting 350 and 320, and this year he's hitting 230. And it was like they're showing all these whiffs, and anytime you throw him a high fastball like off the plate, my guy's out there trying to hit it.
Right.
So if I was Trea Turner, I would figure that out. I would look to correct that.
That's a good good insight you should give to him.
Honestly, like I could be a hitting coach. Like I'm basically Kevin Long, if you think about it. Like I would just sit him down and I'd show him I'd show him the tape and I'd say, that ball's not close. Don't swing at that.
Okay.
And we'd get, and then if there's runners in the scoring position, again, the last 2 years he's over 300. This year he's hitting 150, hence the 11 RBIs.
Yes.
So I also would try to get him to fix that if I was a hitting coach.
Has he said anything about how he said he hasn't been doing well, right? Like he admitted it to the media.
Yeah, he said I've sucked. He said
happens.
I'm honest with myself. I've sucked.
Yeah.
All he can do is try to get better. He tried to do that whole thing at the end. I think I'm a positive guy. I think I can always do better. Always can be better. That's the attitude I have. I know when something's not right. Amen, Trea Turner. Amen.
We love you, Trey.
I would hope you know something's not right, because it's not going well. But as a Nationals fan, there is a part of me that is thoroughly enjoying this. It sucks though, because I do love Trey, because he's the easiest guy to root for. He's got a great head of hair. It's the best. But CJ Abrams is just like, CJ has also 4 home runs. CJ has 23 RBIs. His OPS is 90. OPS plus is 90, and Trey's is 91. So we're getting Trea Turner level production, if not a little better, from a guy that's probably making like $1 million.
Yeah.
Trey's making like 30 something. So,
So Nats fans are feeling good.
Yeah. Yeah. Could be worse. Could have Francisco Lindor as your starting shortstop. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Just have a guy batting 230 all the time. Yeah, that would really be a drag.
Yeah.
So no, I think Trea Turner will be fine long term. You know, flags fly forever. 2019 World Series, but
Yes.
For right now though.
For right now, Phillies fans are dramatic, so
yes,
they're probably the most dramatic fan base.
Yeah, it's I don't know. They might be just like Nationals junior. They got Harper, Turner, like they're just just trying to stick it to their ex. All right. You wanted to bring a couple non-baseball things. Well, still related to baseball, but just like hardcore baseball driven topics. So why don't you to fill us in on what's going on with your favorite player in all of baseball, Vlad Jr.?
Yes. So favorite player ever. All right. So Vlad Jr. saw a young fan wearing a Bo Bichette jersey, sitting behind home plate during the Blue Jays 10-inning loss to the Orioles. Sign that said, "I beat cancer." If you watch the video, it's absolutely amazing. He notices the sign, has someone from the clubhouse give him one of his bats to the boy as a gift. Listen, do I get frustrated with Vladdy because he likes to make fun of the Yankees a lot? Yes. But as a young player, like I think people forget Vladdy's only 24 years old. That is such a mature move to do that for a young kid sitting behind the backstop. Like, heart of gold, brought tears to my eyes. I just thought that was such an amazing story. Bigger than baseball. Great segment. So I was really happy to see that from Vladdy, even though I get frustrated with him sometimes.
That's very big of you to acknowledge, from your Yankees fandom to say, hey, Toronto Blue Jay that always kills us every single time we play you.
Yes.
I respect you. Tip of the cap.
Tip
I
of the
like
cap.
that.
Thanks.
I also had a non-baseball story, and the Baltimore Orioles, they unveiled their City Connect uniforms. I think they're like the 19th or 20th team to get them, so they're a little bit late to the party here. We've already had so many fun debates on this podcast about what City Connects look good, which ones don't. The Texas Rangers obviously didn't look good, but if you haven't seen them, they have it's mostly an all black jersey. They have that Script B logo on the hat, which I love. It's like black pants, black jersey, white belt. Didn't quite get that.
Yeah.
Baltimore across the chest. And it's like they're the first jersey to have the inside have a design, to have the interior part. It's like multicolored. It's supposed to represent. They had a quote about I was reading this stupid breakdown that they use to describe all of what's in the uniform. And it says, from the outside, it looks all black and white. You can't see what you're not looking for. Threaded from the artistic tapestry of our city, the palette is like our people, colorful, vibrant, and quirky. So they're not like other uniforms. They're quirky. I could have done without that. I don't know who wrote that. It feels like a ChatGPT generated thing, but yeah, I mean, they're cool. You could roll the sleeves up and it's you have some part of it that's got a couple colors on it, but you don't have to sell it as this artistic tapestry. And it's this grand vision of it doesn't have to be that deep. It could just be cool and colorful. You don't have to try to tell us about all the backstory of what each color means. I don't know. I was just weirded out by yeah, they're not. It's not like other girls. They're quirky. They wear Converses with their dress. Yeah, they cut their own bangs. This is the official uniform of cutting your own bangs with scissors.
I like them though. I do think they look sharp, but I understand the whole here is our deep meaning behind the Baltimore Orioles jerseys. Maybe the city of Baltimore needs that. You need a little spark. I don't know. I'm playing devil's advocate here.
I just think that they did the correct thing, which is break glass in case of emergency. Here's Old Faithful in all black uniform. An all black uniform is a cheat code. It doesn't matter how hated your team is at that very moment. It's like the Washington Commanders. They people oh, I hate this team. I hate Dan Snyder. I hate everything about it. And then they unveiled their new logo and all these oh, all black uniform. Not bad. Yeah. So it's whenever you want to rally the team around or rally the fan base around something, it's you just make it all black. It's the coolest look in all of sports. The white belt's a little tough, though. I'm surprised they didn't have an artistic tapestry paragraph on the white belt's meaning. It doesn't match.
Yes.
It just doesn't match.
Do you think the Yankees or the Mets would have a City Connect jersey?
I'd know.
No,
I don't think the Yankees would. I don't think the
I don't think the
Yankees would.
Yankees. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Mets are quirky enough that they could probably get away with putting that in there.
They could do like a statue. They could do so much. They could do like Statue of Liberty on the jersey. Like the Empire State Building. I don't know. I feel like you can get really creative.
I mean, that would actually be kind of, the Mets for sure would try. Well, I don't know, because I don't know how Steve Cohen feels about like trying to. Maybe he wants to be like the Yankees. Maybe he wants to be all serious and stuff. It's like, hey, I'm spending all this money. I don't want our guys looking like a bunch of idiots out there running around with like Times Square on their jersey or something.
It's true. It's a solid point. Solid point.
Yeah. But my favorite is you can't see what you're not looking for. It's just, that's like the ultimate cop out. It's like, hey, this thing is kind of boring and plain. Just let it be boring and plain. It's like, no. You're not looking hard enough. Look deeper. There's a little bit of a color gradient on some of the logos. So you can't, there's like some of these Pantones are a little darker and some of them are a little lighter.
Yeah. Can't judge a book by its cover. Got to go inside. Get the full effect.
God, I like the uniforms. I hate these breakdowns. Like when the teams feel compelled to give a 10-paragraph dissertation on each individual meaning as if it's supposed to make it look cooler.
Yes. The Padres did the same one last year. I remember it was a huge paragraph. I'm like, oh gosh. Okay. It's like we've correlated all of these colors together for this specific reason. We picked the pink and the green and the neon. I said, oh, okay.
I can promise you, I'm speaking for all fans. We don't care. We don't care. I just save yourself the time. You can make the hype video, make the coolest hype video, put fire in it, put a techno beat behind it, do whatever.
Yeah.
I don't need to be lectured on each color's individual meaning and what it means to the city as a whole. I don't need that.
Just the jersey is fine.
Just put the jersey out. Just put the jersey out and make a video and we'll buy the hat.
Perfect.
I mean, the Reds also put their City Connects out and they also did all black. Awesome.
Fantastic.
The perfect amount of like red down the pants. Like the new hat logo is sick. 10 out of 10.
Yeah. I think they should wear that every game.
They should. Yeah.
They get really hot though. Those are the all black ones.
Yeah, I think it's every Friday home game. I think they're doing that. But yeah, I don't know. We have, a third of the teams in baseball don't have City Connects out yet. So there's still plenty more ammunition out there to get angry and to, quote tweet and say this is trash. So thought that was fun. All right. I know I've been kind of ranty today. I don't know. I've just been kind of old and curmudgeonly. It's okay. I admit it. I have a rant though. And this week's rant, it's about Eric Hosmer. And this is in our Let It Out segment.
Yep.
I am tired of all of the Eric Hosmer slander. I've had it up to here with the internet hating on this man. I've seen so much of it. He was DFA'd from the Cubs last Friday, but even before that, in Boston when he was there for a little bit, and especially in San Diego fans, it's as if Eric Hosmer like murdered a relative or something. They universally don't like that guy. He has the stigma around him, and I do not understand it. He's become an easy target. Literally anything that's wrong with your team is somehow Eric Hosmer's fault. It does not make any sense. He has become vilified. He is the boogeyman. It's stupid because like he's not like, okay, I know that, his tenure in Chicago wasn't that great. And, in Boston, that little bit there wasn't good either. But there was a run in San Diego at the beginning of last season where he was hitting like 400 and he was like the best hitter in baseball. And Eric Hosmer's back. And people are still ripping him a new asshole every single day online. And then he still finished his time in San Diego last year with like 111 OPS and he was batting 270. They traded him away and all this stuff and whatever. He didn't want to invoke his no trade clause, whatever. Goes to Boston, doesn't do that well. He goes to Chicago this year. He's on a 1-year deal on a league minimum, and the Padres are paying his salary. So it's basically like you're getting a free Eric Hosmer. You're getting Eric Hosmer's playing for free. And that still didn't stop people on the internet from demolishing this man up and down and left and right. And it's like, I get that like the bat, there's some deficiencies in his plate appearances. I get that. You know, you're not getting World Series Eric Hosmer, but like when he lacks on the field stuff is just like he makes up for on like character, off the field, locker room. And I get people be like, oh, we don't pay this guy to be a good person. It's like, you're not paying him anything to begin with. The Padres are. It's a free Eric Hosmer. Nico Horner of the Chicago Cubs, he had a great quote I read, and I wanted to read it here because it just kind of sums up Eric Hosmer and his great character. He said, quote, I'm incredibly impressed by him as a person. I think that this game can definitely beat people down over time, and he has definitely been criticized publicly a lot. But for him to never, ever waver in how he treats people around him, he was as invested in this team's success as anyone in that locker room. And I'm just thinking, like, he signed a one-year deal. He saw the depth chart. He knew that there was Matt Mervis coming in to take his spot eventually anyway. The Cubs aren't expected to be a first-place powerhouse team this year, and he's still, every single day, was showing up there being a good leader and a good person. And, like, I know people don't care about that. They will for sure comment, who gives a crap? He was batting whatever low number it was this year. But, like, I'm just tired of the narrative that he's a cancer and a bad guy. It's asinine at this point. He will bounce back. There's plenty of great baseball left in Eric Hosmer, and any team would be lucky to have an Eric Hosmer on their team. End of rant.
That was phenomenal. Claps.
Thank you.
I loved that. I really did.
Scene.
And we would welcome him on the pod with open arms.
I would love to have Eric Hosmer back on the pod. The one time I talked to him, he was like the nicest, kindest, funniest, like, you know, took accountability. He talked about like how he's looking to get better. This is before last season. He was talking about how he's changing his swing and his hands and whatever. It's like, this is a guy that's won a World Series. He's got so much dirt in his spikes and brings so much experience and veteran wisdom. It's like, yeah, okay, sometimes he'll stand on the other side of first base when he's trying to field the ground ball and it doesn't look that great. And I know he hits the ball into the dirt almost exclusively now, but it's like, I still, in my heart of hearts, believe that this man can play baseball well. So, yeah, I hope the Orioles get him. I hope any of the teams that I cheer for sign him, just so I can be banging the Eric Hosmer drum again. I love that. So you think he can bounce back? Absolutely. He's too good not to. Like, there's things that like you don't forget how to hit to this level. Yeah. Like, he's still like, if you give him it just maybe has to have a defined role. Maybe if he's not every day, he'll be the best part-time DH first base locker room guy ever. So yeah. I mean, I think about what the Yankees did with IKF. Like, he's not their everyday shortstop, but he comes in, plays center field a little bit, pinch hits a little bit, pinch runs. He's the good utility bench guy. They could have done that, but no. There's no reason why he can't. Yeah. His ground ball percentage this year is pretty high. He's not getting the ball in the air enough, but like, I'll figure it out. Like I said, like literally a calendar year ago, he was batting 400. Right. So, yeah, I'm just tired of seeing this Eric Hosmer stuff. Okay. You have a rant as well, and it's a great one. I do have a rant. I'm going to tread carefully with this one. I just need to know. I need to know with every essence of my being what is going on with Carlos Rodon. Here's the thing. I understand we have some issues. And for those who don't know, what happened with Carlos Rodon was he pitched in spring training. They took him out of the game. He went on the IL. They said he's going to miss probably the first 2 months of the season. Okay, I could live with that. I was fortunate enough to work the press conference for Carlos Rodon last year. Was amped for him. Spent a lot of money. 6 years, $162 million. Going to be the number 2 guy behind Garrett Cole. Did phenomenal with the Giants in 2022. 14-8, 2.88 ERA, 237 strikeouts. We're fired up. Yankee fans are amped up. Let's go, Carlos Rodon. Here's where I'm having a tiny bit of an issue. I just want some clarity on the situation. So he goes on the IL, and now they're doing tests on the back. The MRI is clean. He's in no back pain, is what he's telling the reporters. Boone says he can't quite, there's something that's missing. If I'm the media, if I'm a reporter, I'm going, no, Boone, what is missing? I need just an ounce more. I need to know what is missing and why he cannot pitch. Is it a mental block? Does he have the yips? I mean, I understand if I had the yips, I'm not going to go to the media and say, yeah, I have the yips. But
there's just no clarity on the situation is what is so frustrating. Today it was tweeted that he hopes to throw off the mound soon. He received the cortisone shot. Still nothing set in stone for a rehab assignment, but he hasn't felt any discomfort lately. So you have felt no discomfort. Your MRI is clean. And you're going to throw until when? When are you coming back? Soon? We need help. Herman is now suspended. They're down a starter. Now they're down 2 starters. Oh gosh, the headache, the absolute headache I am getting with this. And I'm not totally blaming Rodon. I really do think that there's something that we're missing. Like I feel like there's something that they're not telling us. I'm sorry. This really gets me fired up because you're supposed to be your number 2 guy. Now we don't even have a number 2 guy. We're going on like 1, 3, 5 starters. So that's how I feel about this situation. And I need to know when he's coming back before I actually have an anxiety attack. Rant over.
He will come back when the vibes are good. He's not in a good place with the vibes. He looked in the mirror. He did a little self-assessment, little vibe check. I don't feel like it doesn't feel right. And I think we should honor and respect his decision because soon is soon. You just have to be patient.
Justin and I were talking about this before the podcast, and he goes, "Oh, they tweet today. He said he's coming back soon." I go, "That's not a timetable. That's not an answer." Also, guys, I'm sorry my voice is so bad. It's from Taylor Swift. I don't normally sound like this, but oh my gosh, I need to know. I just need to know what is going on. However, Ashley, his wife, did say that he's coming back. This is strictly from Twitter. Talking Yanks tweeted something like, "Our inside source says don't expect Carlos Rodon to pitch this year." Ashley tweets back and goes, "BS-confirmed source." So maybe he's coming. I don't know when. We'll see him game 1 of the postseason.
I think it's probably a safe bet that he'll come back this year, right?
When?
I mean, if I had to put a timetable on it, I'd say 2023 at some point. You'll get him this year. Like, I don't understand. Like, you've made it to June without him. Well, who's to say you can't make it August, September? Maybe by then the vibes will be okay.
I think the vibes are high right now. They're winning. Well, not right now. They're losing 5-4 to the Orioles, but they're doing well. He can come back now. It's safe.
It's safe.
You can come back now.
We mean you no harm, Carlos Rodon. We promise. It is safe to come out and play baseball that we're paying you all this money for, 6 over 162. It's okay. Like, hey, we won't hurt you. What if you, as kind of like a Yankee fan ambassador, you kind of, get together with the other Yankees fans, and you say you pull them together and you say, "Hey guys, we're not going to boo Carlos Rodon anymore. We're going to be positive and upbeat regardless of the outcome of how he pitches." And then maybe if you put positive vibes out there for him, he'll reciprocate them and he'll come out of his shell and he'll pitch for you guys.
That is an excellent
What about
idea.
that?
I think you've nailed it.
I think it's intimidating going to New York, and I think people don't understand the mental games and the mental torture chamber that the athletes in the Bronx are under. So he's new to that. He's played for the White Sox and the Giants, so he hasn't necessarily been under that much intense media scrutiny. It's hard. Just be patient, because he will at some point play for the Yankees. That much we know for certain.
In the next 6 years, he will play for the New York Yankees at some point.
And that's the way it was. Yeah. Back to you in the studio, Kait. We don't know when exactly Carlos Rodon will come back and play for the New York Yankees, but we can be certain that he will at some point. Back to you in the studio.
Oh my God. Can you imagine being a reporter and a manager says to you, "He feels fine. No, MRI's clean. He'll be back soon." So what do you mean soon?
that's when you turn into Pepe Sylvia and you start get the cork board out and you get the crazy lines drawn and you're like trying to do like, all right, what are they telling us? Like, is Carlos Rodon, did he actually die and did he be replaced by a body double like Avril Lavigne did? Is this not actually Carlos Rodon? Where's the real Carlos Rodon?
He's like Ben. Yeah. He's not real.
It's Carlos and Ben. They're just not. They both neither exist.
It's all a lie.
I'm glad I'm not a Yankees fan. That would piss me off.
Yes. But fingers crossed. Right now, you know what? Timestamp this. We'll put this on the record. I'm going to go July 14th. He's coming back.
Ooh, okay. This is good. This is actually a great idea.
July
I'm going to
14th.
get the Yankee schedule out.
Yep.
And I'm going to predict. It's like what Greg Amsinger did when he predicted Albert Pujols' 700th career home run. He predicted the day like 8 months before that. Yep. Shout out the GOAT, Greg Amsinger. I will get the calendar out. And you said July
14th.
14th or in Colorado. That's after the All-Star break. That's the first game back. I'm going to say he needs a little bit more time.
What?
I'm going to say that, yeah. I'm going to say he needs a little bit more time. I think Carlos Rodon will come back. He will come back August 6th. It's a Sunday against Houston. It's Harry Potter Day.
He's not coming back against Houston? Are you out of your mind?
It's Yankees Harry Potter cap giveaway day. And you will see the debut of Carlos Rodon, 135 on August 6th. Write that down. He's a big Harry Potter fan. He's team Hufflepuff. Back.
I can't breathe. No, I think he needs more time. He needs more time than a full All-Star break.
Don't rush him. He will come back at some point.
He did. I think he threw a long toss today. Oh, the Orioles are making errors, guys. No, they didn't.
It's Senor Nada, as Dan Plesac calls Yanir Cano. I think he did eventually give up a run, but that 0 ERA was pretty sick for a while there.
Yeah.
So yeah, mark it down. August 6th, Harry Potter giveaway. What a hilarious thing the Yankees are giving away. If I didn't have that on my Yankees bingo card of things, I thought they were too proud of an organization to be doing giveaways like that.
What are they giving away that day? Harry Potter what?
It's Harry Potter cap giveaway day.
That's cool.
Yeah. So you might just have to go to that game and report back live on the ground and see all right, we're now sending it over to Kait. She is in the Bronx and she is wearing the Yankees Hufflepuff yellow cap. Ooh, you can get a Gryffindor, a Slytherin, a Ravenclaw, or a Hufflepuff themed Harry Potter hat.
That's so cool. I get to pick?
They will be distributed at random, so you don't even get to pick.
Oh, that sucks. I wanted to pick.
Which one would you pick?
I think Gryffindor.
It's a red one.
Oh.
I want the yellow one.
What's that, Slytherin?
No, yellow one's Hufflepuff. I don't know what any of this means. I've never watched Harry Potter.
That's a sin. Are you a Star Wars person instead?
I like Star Wars, yeah. not an animal.
I like Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm not an animal.
So then what do you have against Harry Potter?
I don't know. A bunch of wizards running around.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
It just didn't really do it for me. Sorry. Yeah.
Sorry. It's fair.
I don't know how we got here, but I think it's a good way to end. I think we should do ending each episode. We should just let out a vicious stream of rants.
Yes.
I think it's what people want to hear.
Yeah. You guys want to hear us yell about baseball?
I think so. It's also on. Is that August? Are they all doing this on August 6th? Oh, they're giving away it's Grateful Dead Jerry Garcia bobblehead. There's at some point.
Oh.
Yeah.
Slay.
So maybe Carlos is a deadhead. All right. I'm gonna cut this one short before I let out another mindless stream of rambling thoughts. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you all next week.